Hello and welcome everyone to this week's Gold and Silver Club end of week review for the 28th of March 2014, presented by myself, Phil Carr, and Nick Kalsi at the Gold and Silver Club. Today we will be reviewing the latest developments in the commodities markets. We'll be analysing the week's performance. The live session will cover an end of week summary for commodities, gold, silver, oil, natural gas, coffee. We'll be looking at our top trade of the week. We'll be going through live market commentary and technical analysis. We'll look at the week ahead as well, so key events, the 6 major events you need to look out for commodities next week, and of course answering any questions you may have on today's webinar too. Right, so we'll take a look at the how gold has performed this week. It's been another interesting week. Gold price has hit 6 weeks lows on upbeat US data. Gold price has ended the US trading session on Thursday moderately lower, so we're currently trading at $1,295 an ounce. We'll take a look at that on the charts very shortly. Gold prices fell below the psychological support of $1,300 an ounce midweek on bullish US fundamental news. The US economic data this week included the weekly jobless claim reports, the third quarter GDP, the Kansas City Fed manufacturing data, pending home sales, and durable goods orders, which came out 3 times higher than market consensus. So this week's data was generally upbeat, so it's bullish for the US dollar, bearish for the precious metals, and this has presented some great opportunities to sell short gold this week once we've broken through major levels. We'll show you that on our top trade of the week. And moving into next week, traders are shifting their focus to the Russia-Ukraine conflict as tensions within the region have started to intensify again. So renewed tension in the region is a key fundamental driver that is likely to trigger a potential comeback for gold in the short term, driving capital inflows back into safe haven assets. So the other major events next week is the US non-farm payroll, which is scheduled for Friday at 12 p.m. GMT, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So the big question now is, that should be 1:30 p.m. GMT, 8:30 Eastern time. The big question now is, will gold make a comeback or continue to fall next week? We'll definitely take a look at the technicals shortly. We've got some key levels to look at. Oil is looking very interesting today as well, so we'll take a look at that market also. Before we do so, I'm Phil Carr, professional trader and speaker. I'm the co-founder and director of the Gold and Silver Club. I specialize in teaching people how to make money from trading the most lucrative financial markets in the world. So gold, silver, oil, natural gas, and the commodity currencies. I've trained thousands of individuals to become independent traders and successfully manage their own investment portfolio. Also responsible for the research and development of the Gold and Silver Club trademark strategies that have a proven track record of generating returns for traders. Also, number of financial publications, speak at numerous trading webinars and workshops. In run Nick Kalsi, professional trader, investment analyst and speaker. Nick began his career within private wealth management in 2002 before making the transition into proprietary trading. Prior to co-founding the Gold and Silver Club, spent over 5 years coaching professional fund managers and traders internationally for some of the world's top tier hedge funds and investment banks, and through his first-hand relationship with some of the world's most successful traders, discovered the formula, mindset, and tools that give any individual the definitive edge to trade in any economy. Also regularly writes for a number of global business and financial publications, and we've appeared frequently on financial TV. In fact, we were on Reuters again last week. So that's just a little bit of background on the Gold and Silver Club. So right now, we will take a look at the gold price. We're currently trading at $1,295 an ounce. So I'm going to bring you across to my technical charts very shortly, and we can see what to expect in key levels on the commodities as we move into next week here. Before we do that, we look at the top trade of the week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategies. That was, in fact, a beautiful short sell that we had this week from a break of a nice key Fibonacci there, 1306. And we had a really strong move down to 1291. We've just got a little bit lower than that this morning, 1288. The nice risk on that, 50-point risk, $500 risk for each lot traded, 140 points profit, $1,400 profit there, just shy of a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Really nice move. We've seen a break below now the 200-day moving average as well which we're seeing a little bit of resistance on just this morning. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to move over to my charts and we'll go through some live technical analysis. Okay, the first chart we want to take a good look at the moment is the US dollar index, which moves inversely to gold. So at the moment, you can see actually the US dollar index has, this was from the FOMC announcement where we had that huge surge up, offered a really nice sell short opportunity on the gold market. You can see we've come up actually here. We've hit a key level of resistance, which is the 50-day moving average here. We've also got a downward trending resistance line here on the US dollar index as well. You can see how many times that 50 MA has been tested, rejected, but we are getting higher highs here. We're getting a bit of a pennant forming here as well. We are due a breakout soon. You can see the low volatility on today's candle so far. So what you want to deduce from this, if we get a breakout and a close above the 50-day moving average here on the US dollar index, this downward trending trend channel, this should put more pressure on gold today. We may then see the low taken out of today of 1288. I'll go through the next key levels of gold very shortly with you, and that would certainly put pressure on the gold market. In the second instance, if we fail again to break above the 50-day moving average, we come back down, particularly if we can take out 80.10, which is a major it's a Fibonacci level here on the US dollar index, then we could be due for a bit of a support here on gold, and we might find gold supported around we are right now on a break back above 1300. US dollar index, very key market to follow, the inverse correlation that it has with gold. So you can see that if we get a breakout to the upside here, that will put pressure on gold. And if we get a breakdown lower here, that will give gold market some support. So let's just take a look at the markets right now. Okay, so we go on to gold very shortly. I'm going to go through the technicals. Before then, just tiled some of these windows here on the screen. Really, I think that the major markets that are going to be in play today are again going to be the energies. Energies tend to have more recently, particularly in 2014, some big moves on Fridays, and we can see that's already starting to develop at the moment. We did break above the 200-day moving average just yesterday on, you can see here on WTI. Let me just put that in the daily. And we've had a huge surge higher since we actually managed to break above that. Now, the Brent market here, we broke above a key level 107.81, broke above the 50 MA, and we can see here we're probably heading for the 108.43. There's a 200 MA around there as well. WTI, we've been in a swing trade now since we actually broke above this from our live trading room yesterday. We took this actual trade live. We hit about 60 points in an hour. And we've now gone up to about 177 points. So we continue to break out higher here. We're looking for resistance around about 20 pips higher. We've got a whole cluster of Fibonacci levels, which I'll be looking at about the 102 level. But WTI definitely off to the races today. We can see this whole consolidation that we had this week up until just yesterday. We finally broke out of that, and we're getting a really nice surge. Looking for resistance now, take profit targets around the 102 level. So we've not got too much more to go here until we hit our 200-point profit target. But Brent still has some leg room here to go higher. So we've seen a nice break above the 50 MA today, closed nice and strong. We've broken above this consolidation. Nice little uptrend going since mid-March. And we are looking for another retest of 108.43, which is a very important level for Brent crude oil. 50% Fibonacci level going back to historically 3-year high, 3-year low. That is the midpoint of that. And that is where we're going to probably see resistance here. So I'm seeing Brent come up for about another 31 pips higher here. It's going to kiss the 108.43 level is what I would expect. Come up and hit the 200-day moving average. And then I'm going to be very interested to see whether we're going to follow through. Are we going to break above the 200 MA the same way WTI has? And if so, are we going to break above 108.62, 108.76 and see a move all the way up to 109? So for me, Brent is definitely in play today, and I will be keeping an eye on the Brent market this afternoon and this morning as well. Normally it starts picking up around about now, between about 11 over the next few hours into the US session. So definitely one to watch. Copper is looking really interesting. We've got a V-shaped reversal pattern here. We have broken above a neckline. We've just breaking out of this Fibonacci level here. We're breaking out of this morning. If you take a look at the daily chart here, you can see we put in a capitulation. That was on the day of the FOMC. Big dragonfly doji. You can see the resistance breaking. So copper getting a nice lift here. It's actually breaking out of this key Fibonacci level. So the next key level above here for copper is actually around 65 points higher at 3.094. So copper is looking good for a breakout right now. You can see that move that we're getting at the moment. And this is looking good for a breakout. You can see really nice pattern here, rounding bottom that we're putting in here, or V-shaped reversal pattern as well. Really nice move. So I'm expecting some good moves from copper here, potential breakout up to 3.0944. Okay, so copper definitely in play at the moment as well. Australian US dollar has been fantastic this week, just really easy breakouts. Especially once it got above its 200 MA. Now it's had quite a big breakout this week. We've had some impressive moves since it did clear that level. We've been in the region of about 150 point rally to the upside. We have found some resistance, a key resistance level here, just at 0.92900. We're getting a bit of a pullback at the moment. Very strong upward trend on daily, developing an inverse hammer. So we may be due. So a little bit of a pullback here, just coming back down. Seeing some profit taking into the close here, and we may just see that continue to come down and retest 0.92180 for some short-term day trades for a sell short here on Australian US dollar. If we come back and we take a look at, see which one's more interesting at the moment, silver's having pretty much the same move as gold right now. Gold is going to be very interesting towards the end of the month. So as we go into April next week, typically we do see a lot of fresh funds come in the market the first couple of days of the month. And this could be where we see a bottom put in for gold, a short-term bottom, and we see a bit of a bounce. This sell-off at the moment has been pretty extreme since the FOMC announcement. We've broken through the 200 MA yesterday. We just had a little bit of a bounce higher here. The key levels really I'll be looking at for a break lower here. We need to get below 1288, which was yesterday's low. And you've got quite a lot of support here from 1288 down to 1283. There's quite a few levels gold needs to get down to. If we can get a clear break of the 1283 level, we could be heading down to $1,275 an ounce and then $1,272 an ounce. We've had quite a big move here without any substantial pullback. As mentioned earlier, we may get some safe haven bid next week as well. So I would be looking for potential rebounds as we go into April here. Just the first couple of days of the month, usually we do see a little bit of a reversal in markets as we see fresh money come in. So I'd be looking out for that next week. We may continue to sell off, but I think longer term, we are coming into a weaker area, or midterm, over April, May, June. Does tend to be in a weak time of year for gold and silver. And if we take a look at the monthly, you can see a big inverse hammer. I've got a lot of lines there, but there's a big inverse hammer which is actually formed on the monthly chart. And that's something I would definitely keep in mind. If we break below last month's low in April, we could see more downside here. But we are due a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a move higher, possibly come up back up to 1306 here if we get a bounce. If we go just break it down to the 4 hour at the moment, we're just consolidating. You can see a little bit of a trend channel, downward trending channel at the moment. Just coming back, trying to test its 200 MA, providing a little bit of resistance. Should pick up really in the afternoon. I think at the moment, copper is going to be better, more in focus for a day trade, a breakout that we're getting at the moment. And also Brent is going to be a really good one to watch. But we'll see how we pick up with gold over the course of this afternoon. Silver, another one. We've continued to stay in this downward trending channel. You can see a lot of traders monitoring this channel. The bounces that we're getting have been quite spot on. And we're continuing to break down lower here. With silver, just it's a slow grind lower. With silver, the next key level here is 19.377. It's below all of its key moving averages at the moment. We just break it down into the 4 hour, take a look at any other major levels. Yeah, there is a little bit of support here at the current price, where we're seeing the market just find a little bit of support this morning. Again, I'd be looking out for potential bounces as we come into the start of April here. We may see just a reversal back up to the upper end of this trend channel at the top here. We do want to keep an eye on the US dollar index. So we'll this will be very dependent on what the US dollar index does here as well. If we get a breakout to the upside, that will put more pressure on gold and silver. If we get a reversal to the downside, that will give gold and silver some support. If we move over and let's take a look at we'll take a look at the natural gas market next as well. Natural gas did get a bit of a boost yesterday. Storage inventories, which came out, we had a nice bounce higher. We just sold off a little bit again today, taking some profits there. We continue to take a look. We'll take a look at the monthly looking quite bearish still. We've got a major trend line which the market needs to still come down to, which is circa around 3.895 on the monthly. On the short term, we're looking like we're getting a bullish bounce here, but overall on the monthly and weekly time frames, it's a little bit more bearish. So we'll continue to just day trade this at the moment and look for further strong signals for potential sell short here in line with the overall shorter term trend, which has been downward trending. You can just have a look at that since really the end of January. I'll just chuck this trend line on for you. So that's what we're looking at on natural gas. I would say, though, if we take a look and just go over to, again, the top picks of today, there you go. WTI looks like it's just going to come up there. It's only got another 25 points to go until it hits our 102 profit level there. Brent looks good, like a rally here with this close above 50 MA to come up and test the 108.43 level. Copper definitely in play today, seems to be breaking out at the moment. Gold stalling a little bit here around these low levels. Traders aren't sure whether to buy it or sell it. So we need some further news, really, some data. We'll take a look at the major news coming out today and into next week, really to get the next move on gold here. Australian US dollar looks like there's some profit taking at the moment. Silver's right at the lower end of the trend channel here, not too much movement. The energies are going to be more in play this afternoon. So let's take a look at the major news announcements which are coming out over the course of today and into next week as well. Okay, so the 6 major news announcements which will affect commodities as we go into next week. Next Tuesday at 2 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the US ISM Manufacturing PMI. So the Institute of Supply Management, the ISM Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index PMI report on business is based on data compiled from monthly replies to questions asked for purchasing and supply executives in over 400 industrial companies. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar. A lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. That will inversely affect gold and silver. Next Wednesday, the 2nd of April at 2 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the US factory orders. So factory orders measure the change in the total value of new purchase orders placed with manufacturers. That report also includes a revision of the durable goods order data released a week earlier. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish, so inversely correlated to gold and silver. Next Wednesday, 2nd of April, 2:30 GMT, 10:30 AM Eastern Time, we have the US ADP non-farm employment change. That report is a measure of the monthly change in non-farm private employment based on the payroll data of approximately 400,000 US businesses. The release 2 days ahead of government data. That change in the indicator can be very volatile as well. So that comes out 2 days before non-farm payroll. So we can have a big movement on Wednesday. We usually do, which will affect gold, silver, US dollar index. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. And then as we move into the tail end of next week, we've got, of course, Wednesday, 2nd of April, 2:30 p.m. GMT, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have the US crude oil inventories. That data reports the number of barrels of crude oil commercial firms have in inventory. Commercial firms report their inventory levels to the Energy Information Administration on a weekly basis. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bearish for crude oil, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bullish. That's great weekly trade for crude oil. Then we have Thursday, 3rd of April, 2:30 p.m. GMT, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, the US natural gas storage report. So the Energy Information Administration, the EIA natural gas storage report, measures the change in the number of cubic feet of natural gas held in underground storage during the past week. So whilst that is a US indicator, it tends to have a greater impact on the CAD due to Canada's sizable energy sector. Also important because the CAD is correlated to oil price. And then next Friday, 4th of April, we have the big one, the US non-farm payroll. That's at 12:30 p.m. GMT, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And non-farm payroll measures the change in the number of people employed during the previous month, excluding the farming industry. So job creation is the foremost indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of economic activity. And a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, and a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. So inversely correlated to gold and silver. We'll be doing a post non-farm payroll webinar with you all then as well. So keep a lookout for that. So those are really the 6 major announcements we need to look out for next week. So it's going to be a big one on Friday with the US non-farm payroll. Definitely keep an eye on the oils today. And also we'll look for resolution with the US dollar index and gold. Copper definitely one to watch as well. And of course, if you'd like to find out more about upcoming Gold and Silver Club workshops and also access to our live training room, you can find out more about that or request information at the Gold and Silver Club live trading room at www.jointhegoldensilverclub.com, or contact us at our London, New York, Johannesburg or Budapest office. Numbers are on the screen there, and you can just also email us at office@thegoldandsilverclub.com. And finally, do make sure you take advantage and subscribe to our newsletter to receive free weekly gold, silver, oil, natural gas and commodity currency news, live market analysis and prices. So I'll just leave that on the screen for you there if you do want to get in touch. And yeah, finally, that is a wrap for today. Those are really the major markets we'll be looking out for this afternoon. So I wish you good luck with your trading today into next week. Have a great weekend. Thanks to FX Street and the team for putting on today's webinar. And we'll see you on the next one for a post non-farm payroll analysis. Okay, so take care, everybody. Cheers. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.